Hello friends, another day here at Mike D YouTube. Today we're going to come at you with a car review on an E92 BMW 2008 328i. This has probably been one of my first cars that's rear wheel drive that I feel like I can drive to its limits. I'm the type of guy that likes to drive things at least to 9/10 of what it can perform. So the 300ZX that I have, that was my father's, and it seems to be that it has a very emotional connection. I have an emotional connection to it, and it means something to me. So I don't drive it very hard. But this car, wow. I think I bought this car at the bottom of its depreciation, because it's like a bell curve of, vehicles generally, especially sought after vehicles. When you first buy them, it's real high. Then when it's there about 7, 8, 10, 12 years old, they're at the lowest, and then they go up. So I only paid $4,500 for this car. It drives beautifully. If we're going to talk about it, if you guys have been watching the channel, I have a 2007 Toyota Solara. This drives like a razor blade, and that one drives similar to a butter knife, kind of, if we're talking about like cutting, like how fast and how amazing this thing can cut. And then we're talking about $4,500, people. For $4,500, you couldn't even wrap, I would say, this whole entire car with this quality of leather for $4,500. So then there's the fun factor. Well, it is fun. If you're a drifty boy, it's not going to be the car for you. Drifters, this doesn't have a limited slip differential, and I don't believe it has enough power. This is probably one of the more reliable BMWs you can get, and I definitely looked into that. It has the N52 motor. It was the last of all of BMW straight sixes, so it has this just smooth, linear power that, and it does have this Vano system that's kind of like VTEC, because I've had a lot of Hondas, and this does not kick in like a VTEC. But this car is one of the first cars that made me realize the main difference between horsepower and torque. Like my Solara has, I believe, what was it, 220 horsepower, but it has 240 foot-pounds of torque. This vehicle has 230 horsepower, but it only has 200 foot-pounds of torque. And this car, so if we're just cruising along together, on the highway or whatever, and we both just give it, the Solara is going to pull, and it's going to pull quite a bit. Let's see, come on, zoom in. Thank you. And it's going to pull quite a bit on it. But if we come to a dead stop and we take off, because of the transfer of motion and weight to the rear tires, this car is going to have a way better 0 to 60, even though in general that car is faster. But if we're going to talk about smiles for miles and smiles per, let's say, dollar paid, I believe this is the best deal I've ever got on anything that I've ever gotten that's ever given me a lot of joy and happiness. This thing right here just runs like a champ. And sorry if I seem a little distracted. I'm on a back canyon road, and there's some big huge potholes and things in it that I'm just trying to avoid. But anyways, I do believe that this car here might even be a future classic. Like we were talking about the bell curve earlier, it is going to increase in value. So in my opinion, if I bought this car for $4,500, I drive it for 10 years, I put about $3 grand into it, and I can sell it for $12,000, $15,000 in, let's say, 10 years. I think it would be a hell